In this video, we will see how we can update the symbology for a point, line and polygon feature layer in ArcGIS Online using the ArcGIS API for Python. So open up the update symbology.py script from the symbology folder. Let's take a look at updating symbology for the feature layers in our feature service. And we will do this by updating the renderer definition in each feature layer object. We'll first access ArcGIS Online using the GIS class and supplying it in the home string. We'll assign our GIS object a variable called AGOL. We'll then use our GIS object and access the content manager and use the get method supplying in our feature service item ID. The get method will return an item object that will assign to a variable called item. Now we have a note here that updating the feature layer object symbology only works if the item.getData returns an empty dictionary that we saw in the previous video. If that getData method returns a populated dictionary, you will need to update that dictionary with the symbology definition rather than the feature layer object. For now, we're going to update our feature layer object. First up is our trail viewpoints layer. So we're accessing the trail viewpoints feature layer object from the item layers property, which returns a list of feature layers, and we want the first feature layer object from that list. We'll assign our trail viewpoints layer to a variable called FL. Now here we have the symbology definition, and we saw this in the previous video. Here I've just updated the width to 30 and the height to 30. This symbology definition here represents that red point picture marker symbol for our trail viewpoints layer. I'm going to run this script twice. On the first run, I'm just going to update a certain part of the current symbology, and in the second run, we're going to completely overhaul the symbology for each feature layer. Once I have the symbology definition set as a Python dictionary, I'm going to create an update dictionary. And we've seen this before when we've updated feature layer object properties. To get to the renderer, we have to go through the drawingInfo property, which has a renderer property, and that's where we set our symbology definition. We then use our feature layer object manager property, which is a feature layer manager, and we use the update definition method, supplying in our update dictionary above as the JSON dictionary, and this will update the symbology for our point feature layer. I'll assign the calling of the update definition to a variable called status. We'll then print the current feature layer name to screen, and we'll also print status to see that the update was successful. We're also going to update our park trails linear feature layer. Instead of being a black line, we will update it to be a red line. We do the same where we update the feature layer object. I do have an insert line of code here, so let's do that. So we know we need to call our feature layer object, and we're accessing the feature layer manager, and we're using the update definition method from the feature layer manager, and we want to set the JSON dict parameter to be our update dictionary above. Once more, we'll print the feature layer name to screen along with the status. Next is updating our park boundaries Polygon feature layer. I won't spoil the surprise of what this color is going to be, but it was green with a dark outline, so we'll see how that looks like when we run this script. We're not going to alter the county boundaries in this run, but in the next run we will. Before running, I'm going to pop on over to ArcGIS Online. You can see here our current symbology. We have our park trails with the red picture marker symbol. We have our park trails as the black line, and we have our park boundaries, that is the green fill with a darker green outline. Before I head back, just take note of the size of those trail viewpoints red picture marker symbols. We are increasing the size of these when we run the script. So head back to the script and run. And we can see for our trail viewpoints, our park trails and our park boundaries, we were returned success true, indicating that our symbology was updated. So let's head over to ArcGIS Online and check out the result. Take note here of the current state of symbology. And now I'm going to click refresh. And we can see that the size of our trail viewpoints, red points, have increased significantly. Our park trails is now a red line. Our park boundaries is cyan. And we did not alter the county boundaries symbology. Okay, so that doesn't look great. Let's go back and make it a bit more appealing. I'm going to open up where we are going to update our county boundary symbology. And then I need to go through each of the other examples and comment out the example that we just ran and open up the second example in each of those sections. Okay, we are good to go. Let's take a look at what we are going to update our symbology to. For our trail viewpoints, we are setting the type to simple. The symbol is going to be a simple marker symbol where the color is green and the outline is a darker green. For our park trails polyline layer, we're going to update the line symbol to be a dashed line. And for our park boundaries layer, we are going to update the park boundaries to have a fill that is a hatched fill of green. And for our county boundaries layer, we are going to set the alpha value to 0, which means that the fill will be completely transparent, so it doesn't matter what numbers you put in for RGB. And we're going to give it a black outline with a width of 1.5. Now before I run this script, I want you to take a look at this link here. That brings you to the web map specification for a renderer. I'm going to pop on over now and I'll open up that page. Here you can get all different information about the different types of renderers. We've only been using the simple renderer that you can see here. So if I click in and scroll down, we can see the symbol. And in the symbol, we have our picture fill symbols, our picture marker symbol that we saw for our red point. We have our simple fill symbol for our polygons and our simple line symbol. And if I click into any of these, I'll click into the simple fill symbol. You can see how we create our JSON for each of these. Another great alternative for seeing how symbology works is to do it manually in ArcGIS Online and then export the JSON and interrogate it. Let's head back to our script and run. And we can see that for each of our layers that we got success through, indicating that the symbology was successfully updated. So let's head back to ArcGIS Online and check out the result. Here we can see the monstrosity that we had. So let's refresh the page. On the left hand side here, we can see our updated symbology in the legend. For our trail viewpoints, we have a green circle with a darker green outline. For our park trails, we have a dashed black line. For our park boundaries, we have a hatched green fill. And for our county boundaries, we have just a black outline for the polygons. And we can see that represented in the map over here. If I zoom in, we can see the dashed line for the trails and the green hatch for the park boundaries. And we have our trail viewpoints as the green circles. Make sure to continue on to the next video in this series and also make sure to subscribe. Take care.